A near decade-long program at a Portland high school uses terms like white fragility and white tears and tells students to acknowledge your privilege and experience discomfort in an effort to bridge a racial divide, and now it's getting national attention. Grant High School's Race Forward has lofty goals to help address racism. The student-led effort is presented to the entire student body and faculty a few times a year, according to Portland Public Schools, most recently in December of 2021. Students like Calliope Ruskin create the presentation and facilitate the discussion among students as part of a class called Students for Equity.
Conversations about race obviously can make people uncomfortable, and I think that's something that is normal, and it's totally okay to feel uncomfortable.
Calliope is a 10th grader at Grant, and he says the purpose of his Race Forward presentation is to educate.
This presentation isn't meant to be provocative. I think the way that society is built, it makes it provocative.
Marnie Glickman, who is a longtime activist herself, supports her teenager, the school, and the district, and says it's important to have open conversations about issues like race.
The only way, though, that we can dismantle racism is to talk about these really difficult concepts.
Not everyone agrees, though. Nicole Neily is the founder of a group called Parents Defending Education, a national organization which, according to its website, works to, quote, reclaim our schools from activists promoting harmful agendas. Neily says a parent from the Portland Public School District sent her an anonymous tip about the Race Forward presentation.
We let people make up their minds for themselves, but the kinds of lessons that are involved in this are deeply questionable. And I think, reasonable people could differ. There are some people who might want their children to be exposed to lessons like this.
Neily agrees history is an important part of any curriculum, but has a problem with the way this material is presented.
The Race Forward presentation that talks about whiteness, white fragility, white tears, white saviorism. I mean, these are all really condescending, really derogatory messages. Our country is very frayed right now. People are pitted against each other. And so is this the kind of lesson plan that will teach our children to heal and to move forward and to create a more unified nation? Honestly, I don't think so.
KATU reached out multiple times to PPS for an on-camera interview. The district sent us a statement which confirms the program at Grant High School takes place and says the 60 to 90-minute presentation started about 8 to 9 years ago following a specific racial incident. At the time, several students believed the entire student body needed to have intentional conversations about race. Parents Defending Education has called out Grant's program on its website, along with other examples of critical race theory in Portland Public Schools to focus parents' awareness. Meanwhile, Calliope and his mom say they're proud of the work that continues at Grant to address racism head-on. The racial incident that first sparked the Race Forward discussions involved members of the boys' soccer team at Grant using the N-word to taunt a teammate, as well as racist posts from other students on social media. Instead of disciplinary action, students at the time wanted the school to facilitate a productive school-wide conversation about racism. I'm Steve Dunn.